Okay, now that you've cleaned up your initial photo from a colour photo, you've stripped all the colours out, you've emphasised a fairly good contrast in it, I want you to go back to Photoshop. I want you to open up that image. Okay, there's the image on screen. I want you to now create a new file. Go new. Now I want you to make sure the settings are exactly this. The name of the file, you can just call the name that you have got there. So I'm just going to go surfdog-2. I'm making sure I change this from pixels to millimeters. I'm going to set the width at 150, the height at 100, the resolution, I want you to put that as 100. So how many pixels per centimeter, and the background white. Once you've done that, click OK. Okay, there's the panel that we're going to work with. The piece of acrylic that you're working with is 150 wide by 100 high. Now that's the exact size that we're going to work to. I want you to make sure that you have got your ruler on. So make sure that that box is ticked. So if it's not, just go down and tick the ruler box. You can see as I move up and down on this side ruler here, you'll see a little dotted line moving with the cursor. You'll also see it moving across the top bar. Make sure that that's engaged. If this covers it, if you grab that little bar there, if I move it to the side, I can lock it in and I can keep my ruler here, which is probably what I want. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the Surf Dog. I'm going to get the magic wand tool. I'm going to click in the outside white space so it seems to highlight everything all around the outside, and then I'm going to go select inverse. I want the actual dog itself, I don't want the white bit. Go edit, copy, flick back to the original sheet you've got, go edit, paste. Okay, now this is the positioning. Now we need to be concerned here, a couple of things we need to do. If you look on the sidebar, I've got my 70mm marker. I can't have the dog any lower than 70mm. So on the 70mm marker, I want you to make sure that that's as low as the dog goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Move tool. I might stretch him around a bit. He's pretty good size-wise, but I want it maybe a little bit wider, and I don't want the ear in the top line there. So let's go Edit, Free Transform. I'm going to shrink him down a little bit that way. Pull it out. I don't want it right out on the edge of the plastic, so approximately that. And I'm looking where my mouse cursor is at the bottom. I need to go up just a bit, and if you watch that cursor on the side, I'm right on the 70 mark there. Once I'm happy with the positioning, I tick the box at the top. Next thing we need to do is we're going to draw a large black box down the bottom here that overlaps into all of the black line works there. It must overlap. So here you click on the rectangle tool. I make sure my color is set to black, so change it to black as the highlighted color. I'm looking at the marker on the side here, and to get it to overlap I need to be about 68, so I'm going to go to approximately 68. I'm on the edge. I drag a box, seeing that the box overlaps into my image, and I'm just going to go right into that corner as neatly as I can and let go. So what we've got now is a large black box. It overlaps into the black work of your job, must overlap into it, otherwise we'll have problems later. So I want it to overlap at least on the end here and the end here, not somewhere in the middle, because it will make your job very weak. Once we've done that, I need to flatten all of these images down so that we have one image. So if you go to Layer, go right to the bottom and go Flatten Image, you'll notice that all the images have been put into one layer now, so they've all been merged together as one unit. We are going to position a couple of white dots, which will end up being our holes that we will screw this panel down onto a board, onto our base. So the next thing, I want you to turn your marker to white. I want you to get a pencil tool, and I want you to set that to 40. Now that should be equivalent to 4 millimeters, because if you remember back, we had 100 pixels per centimeter, so that's 100 pixels per 10 millimeters. So 40 would mean 4 millimeters. So once you're happy with that, go OK. You'll notice that you've got your little white marker showing you. Now I want that positioned on 95 and 5. So you'll need to look across the marker and up the marker and then click. I want this one on 45 and 95. Click that. That will end up being our 2 holes through, as the laser will cut those 2 holes. Now last of all, I just want you to put a name, anything you would like to put in here. If you go to text, mine's set to 18 millimeters at the moment, and you can, if I click in that space, you'll get an idea of how high that is. We can change that easily. I'm going to type in here surf dog ... a couple of bit of changes on it. If I go to the move tool, I can move it around. I'm going to position it in the center, keep a small gap here, and I must have a gap between the bottom of the writing and the holes on the bottom, because we're going to bend this piece of plastic right through the middle here. So once you're happy with all the positioning of it, you can click back on text, double click on that. You could change by overscoring the whole lot. I could change the size, I could curve the text. Once you're happy with it, but remember you must have a gap, I tick the box. That stage is done now. We've got our holes ready for the screwing onto the base. We've got our name, we've got a black line that runs all the way through our image, and we've repositioned that image and resized it. So the next thing you need to do is just go File, Save As, drop down box to JPEG, and I'm just going to type in SurfDog2 because that's what I called it, the name of that sheet. Go Save, Maximum, drag the slide bar to maximum, and click OK.